Hello everyone, my name is Nathaniel Smith and today we are going to go over blasting and explosive safety. We are going to cover several things including OSHA's definition, the classes of explosives, how to properly store some of the materials you're going to be working with, the proper PPE you need to wear, and also guidelines for how to store and handle the explosives properly. I do encourage you to take notes and feel free to ask me questions throughout. Do not mind to interrupt me, it does not matter. I'm here for you. And also, if you want to wait until the end to give me your questions, make sure and write those down so you don't forget them. So first off, we are going to start with OSHA's definition of explosive. An explosive is any chemical compound, mixture, or device, the primary or common purpose of which is the function by explosion, by substantially instantaneous release of gas and heat, unless such compound, mixture, or device is otherwise specifically classified by the U.S. Department of Transportation. See 49 CFR Chapter 1. The term explosives shall include all the materials which is classified as Class A, Class B, and Class C explosives by the Department of Transportation, and includes, but does not limit to, dynamite, black powder, pellet powders, initiating explosives, blasting caps, electric blasting caps, safety fuse, fuse lighters, fuse igniters, squibs, Cordo detonated fuse, instantaneous fuse, igniter cord, igniters, small arms ammunition primers, smokeless propellant cartridges, proper propellant actuated power devices, and cartridges for industrial guns. Commercial explosives are those explosives which are intended to be used in commercial and in industrial operations. Now we are going to dive into the different classes of explosives that I mentioned in the previous slide. Class A explosives possessing detonating or otherwise maximum hazard, such as dynamite, nitroglycerin, picric acid, lead, acid, fulminate of mercury, black powder, blasting caps, and detonating primers. Then, Class B explosives possessing flammable hazards, such as propellant explosives, including some smokeless propellants, photographic flash powders, and some special fireworks. Class C explosives are including certain types of manufactured articles which contain Class A and Class B explosives, or both, as components but in restricted quantities. There are two important OSHA definitions you need to be aware of. The first is explosive actuated power devices. An explosive actuated power device is any tool or special mechanized device which is actuated by explosives but not including propellant actuated power devices. Example of explosive actuated power devices are jet tamponers and jet perforators. Next are blasting agents. Blasting agent is any chemical, material, or mixture consisting of a fuel oxidizer intended for blasting, not otherwise classified as an explosive, and in which none of the ingredients are classified as an explosive, provided by the finished product as mixed and packaged for use of shipment, cannot be detonated by the means of a number 8 blasting cap when unconfined. Now, before we go on into proper measures you will need to take in order to keep everyone safe, I want to show you an example of what you are going to be dealing with. Remember that smoke and we'll get right back to it. Now that you know about blasting and explosive materials you are going to be dealing with, it is very important that you know how to store them. Once again, we combine these materials to have the potential to cause harm to those you and others around you if not stored correctly. Just to clarify, when I say the word magazine, it is referring to a building of which we will be storing the materials in. Class 1 magazines shall require where the quantities of explosives stored is more than 50 pounds. Class 2 magazines may be used where the quantity of explosives stored is less than 50 pounds. Blasting caps, electric blasting caps, detonating primers, and prime cartridges shall not be stored in the same magazine and with other explosives. Stocks of small arms ammunition, propellant-actuated power cartridges, small arms ammunition primers in quantities less than 750,000, or of smokeless propellants in quantities less than 750,000. Now that you know the rules of storing the materials, we are going to look at how to be safe when handling and loading explosives in blasting holes. All drill holes shall be sufficiently large to admit freely the insertion of the cartridges of explosives. No holes shall be loaded except those to be fired in the next round of blasting. After loading, all remaining explosives shall be immediately returned to an authorized magazine. As I said earlier, the explosives cannot be stored in the same place as the blasting caps and stuff like that. No person shall be allowed to deepen the drill holes of which the explosives will be contained in. After loading for a blast is completed, all excess blasting caps or electric blasting caps and other explosives shall be immediately returned to separate storage magazines. When loading blasting agents pneumatically over electric blasting caps, semiconductive delivery hose shall be used and the equipment shall be bonded and grounded. When we are ready to initiate the charges, there are rules we must follow, and there is protocol in place in case of a misfire. When fuse is used, the blasting cap shall be securely attached to the safety fuse with a standard ring-type cap crimp. All primers shall be assembled at least 50 feet from any magazine. Explosives shall not be extracted from a hole that has once been charged or has been misfired unless it is impossible to detonate the unexploded charge by insertion of a fresh additional primer. If there are any misfires while using cap and fuse, all persons shall require to remain away from the charge for at least 1 hour. But if you are using electric blasting caps and a misfire occurs, the waiting period is reduced to 30 minutes. Misfires shall be handled under the direction of the person in charge of the blasting, and all wires shall be traced back to the unexploded charges. Blasters, when testing circuits to charge holes, shall use only blasting galvanometers designed for this purpose. While we are completing the job and explosives and blasting materials are being used, you will be required to have the proper PPE. I'm going to show you what that entails. As you can see, it entails the steel-toed boots, of course, leather gloves that come all the way up to your forearm area, and then coveralls. One of the main pieces of equipment is the Type CE NIOSH Certified Blasting Airline Respirator with positive pressure blasting outlet. The piece of equipment protects your head, neck, and shoulders from debris and prevents you from inhaling any dusts, as we saw in the video, because it can be harmful and have toxins in it. Now this is very important because it can keep you from inhaling lead, silica, cool slag, copper slag, glass, and etc. These four materials can cause severe damage to your lungs when inhaled and can lead to the loss of lung function and even cause cancer. It is very important for you to have the proper secure and sealed to your person. A Class G hard hat is a general hard hat, as we know it as, and it will be used in places such as like mines where the dust can't get to you as easily, just debris coming from miles because of how big the explosion is. And I want to thank everybody for coming out, and if you have any questions, just meet me at anywhere you want, and be safe and have fun out there.